Pointers for Bhujangasana. Done correctly, this pose helps strengthen the back and abdomen. Jane begins by lying on her stomach with her head turned to one side. She stretches her legs out behind her, placing the tops of her feet on the floor with her toes pointing straight back. She pulls her hands back slightly below her shoulders, keeping her palms on the floor and her elbows pointing up. Then she rolls her shoulders back away from her ears as she turns her face toward the floor. Jane's back isn't very strong. When she tries to lift her chest, her feet lift from the floor, rocking her forward and throwing weight onto her hands. Instead, Jane wants to stretch her hips and legs back and down to help anchor her lower body. This means she has to use the muscles in the backs of her hips and legs. Rolling her legs in while keeping her feet close together will help her keep them on the floor. Jane is tempted to push herself up with her hands and let her back and legs relax. This can be hard on her back. Instead, she wants to use the muscles in her back and hips to lift her chest. Jane should be able to lift her hands from the floor without dropping forward. Instead of just lifting her head, Jane wants to pull her whole spine in and up. This requires her to use her abdominal muscles as well as her back and hips. Rolling her shoulders down and back will help Jane lift her upper back. Jane wants to lift her ribs off the floor as her lower body stays on the floor. She wants the lift to continue the whole length of her spine to lift her head. To exit, Jane slowly releases the muscles in her back and lets herself sink to the floor as she turns her head to the other side.